Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch,
we explore the frustrations of hospital wait times.
You hear about so many nurses trying to get jobs, but nobody is hiring. Maybe that's the first step.
Burn Awareness Week kicks off in Edmonton.
Received 1,326 cases to treat burns. This is almost 4 per day.
Junior high students get a lesson on distracted driving.
And we got to work together on this in order to make it an Alberta-wide campaign.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. Overcrowding of Edmonton emergency rooms is raising safety concerns.
The stress on emergency rooms, along with the lack of staff, has reached a desperate point for Edmonton hospitals. And as some doctors contend, it means they may not be able to ensure safe care for its patients. Our Melissa McLean joins us live from our news center with more on that story.
Earlier this week, in a rare and controversial move, doctors came forward separately and spoke about the harsh reality of Edmonton's emergency rooms. The NDP was quick to categorize this situation as critical.
This is not just an issue that's inconvenient or, as Mr. Mandel says, a work in progress. It's a matter of life and death. It's called an emergency room for a reason, and clearly this PC government is failing to deliver the public health care that Albertans need.
Jessica Warabitz had to go to emergency recently with a high fever that turned out to be more serious. She remembers the wait as unbearable.
I waited almost 2.5 hours before I got into a room, and then I waited even almost 2 hours again to get something for my fever, and by then it was a fever of 104. So I just kept getting sicker and sicker waiting. It was about 6 hours until I finally saw the doctor, and at least 4 hours before I got medication and got hooked up to an IV to bring down my fever and whatnot.
With most emergency room beds being occupied by admitted patients, wait times for new patients are estimated to range from 1.5 to 8 hours. While the government has pledged almost 500 new beds across Alberta hospitals, less than half have been filled. New Democrat seniors critic David Egan has called upon the government to provide Albertans with an update on their promise to open spaces for people in need of long-term care. The NDP feels the Tories have been playing a waiting game with people's lives and that it's now coming to roost.
The backlog in long-term care was creating the problem in emergency room care. So it's not ignorance. They seem to have just willfully failed to provide the extra capacity in long-term care that they promised in October that would help the situation in emergency rooms.
The nurses seemed as though they were so busy that they didn't even have time, so really it's not their fault. They just had so many people to attend to that they didn't have time.
Although there is no known timeline as to when changes will be made, the province is working towards fixing the problem.
Are there any options for finding out estimated wait times at different hospitals around the city?
Yeah, there's actually an app you can download. It's the Alberta Health Services app, and it gives you estimated wait times in emergency rooms across the province.
Melissa, what about alternatives for people hoping to see a doctor instead of heading to the emergency room?
Well, it's actually recommended that you can actually go to a walk-in clinic or a Medi Center if it's not life-threatening.
Thanks, Melissa. That's Melissa McLean reporting live from our news center tonight. 3 Alberta Health Services dialysis sites in Edmonton are now open 7 days a week to treat the increasing number of patients with chronic renal failure. The Royal Alexandra Hospital and 2 units at the University of Alberta Hospital expanded their treatment hours to include Sundays from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. This makes room for 40 additional patients in need of dialysis.
It's great, 7 days, because we do get the best treatment and the best care. So it's a beautiful idea.
Factors contributing to the increases in demand for dialysis services in Alberta include an aging population, diabetes-related renal failure, and patients living longer due to medical advancements.
Chances are, at some point in your life, your kitchen has been the setting for some unfortunate accidents. But firefighters are hoping to curb those preventable mishaps. Fire officials launched Burn Awareness Week on Monday, highlighting the importance of teaching kids to be responsible for their personal safety and increase awareness of potentially harmful situations.
We get way too many of these calls every year, and most of them are very preventable, right? Burns are one of the easiest things to prevent out there. Just having a knowledge of what to kind of do with to keep yourself safe, especially in the kitchen, where most of the burns occur, typically with hot liquids.
In Canada alone, 9,000 children are sent to the emergency rooms for burn treatments. Almost half of these very preventable accidents are caused by scathing hot liquids. Burn Awareness Week in Alberta runs from February 1st to the 7th.
NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
Junior high students at DS Mackenzie got the chance to learn about the dangers of distracted driving.
Does anybody know how much it is to distracted drive?
16-year-old racing phenom from Alberta, Parker Thompson, launched a program to educate students from elementary to high school on safe practices while behind the wheel.
I think it was a really good speech because it really enlightened me on distracted driving and the consequences of being a distracted driver.
Minister of Transportation Wayne Drysdale is proud of Parker's initiative, hoping that our youth takes the advice and develops good behaviors before getting behind the wheel.
The City of Edmonton held an open house on Tuesday to share updates on the Valley Line LRT. The update informed Edmontonians of minor changes to the area that were brought up during the preliminary design process. The adjustments were made in hopes that they would better accommodate the Edmonton Ski Club and Matart Conservatory operations. The city also hopes the changes will help trail users adjust when construction gets started. Eric Gormley, part of the Save the Footbridge group, came to the open house to see if the city reconsidered demolishing the Clover Bar crossing.
In fact, we have an alternative route, one that has a stop at the Shaw Conference Center, and then goes a little bit west and then crosses over by the low-level bridge, which is an area that's quite a bit more disturbed already.
While Gormley hopes the city will take a look at other options, he knows the LRT is important. In March, the information gathered from the open house will be brought up at a hearing with the Transportation Board. The Valley Line LRT construction start year is 2021.
Residents got the chance to listen and provide feedback on the policies and directions regarding the 104th Avenue redevelopment plan on Monday evening. The discussion outlined every aspect of the plan, from housing, retail and transportation to open spaces and improved streetscapes. While there were some concerned residents in attendance, public feedback for the project is largely positive.
The public has been receiving our thoughts and our policy quite well, so I don't think there hasn't been a big monumental shift in any sort of public opinion. I think they would like and welcome change into the area.
The open house gave the community the opportunity to comment and ask questions about the redevelopment project before it goes for final revision in preparation for City Council in April.
Some young Edmontonians are voicing their concerns and hoping to spark public conversation on the contentious topic of gay-straight alliances in high schools. In response to Bill 10, the City of Edmonton Youth Council launched We Are Listening, which supports the right for youth to form gay-straight alliances.
Youth need this. We aren't going to stay quiet anymore. That this is an issue in our lives, and we really need to start putting our voice out there and claiming this.
We Are Listening provides a platform for LGBTQ youth and supporters to share experiences in a safe environment, letting them know they are not alone.
Well, when you think of surfing, Edmonton may not exactly come to mind, but West Edmonton Mall is hoping to change that. The new $1.5 million attraction at the water park in West Edmonton Mall simulates what it's like to ride similarly shaped ocean waves using either a bodyboard or a flowboard.
It's a pretty high thrill activity. It kind of combines all of the board sports into one. And you know, it's promoted as simulated surfing, but you don't have to be a surfer to enjoy it.
Tsunami uses 64,000 liters of water and moves at 50 kilometers per hour. Since opening 2 weeks ago, the unique attraction is bringing down people from all ages, even diehards from the U.S. specifically flying in to catch a wave.
Coming up after the break, we look at how eating disorders are affecting the lives of Albertans.
More people are affected by eating disorders than you might think.
So that people could go and use it as a jumping off point.
I'm Ben Matichuk, and this week Red Bull visits Leduc for qualifications. The Oil Kings take on the Lethbridge Hurricanes, and for the end zone, it's me and Badminton.
Hi, I'm Andrew Nikolai with your look at weather. Although most of the province has been very snowy these last couple days, after the break, I'm going to tell you what we have to look forward to after the snow stops falling.
Hundreds gathered at Churchill Square on Wednesday afternoon to walk away the winter blues.
Councillor Bev Esslinger led a group for a brief walk downtown. Winter Walk Day is a province-wide initiative that encourages Albertans to get outside and moving during the winter months as well as all year round. The first 150 participants to arrive received goodie bags with items like winter socks and pins. Esslinger's words of encouragement motivated the crowd, and she welcomed the grade 1 class who joined her on the walk.
We're gathered here today for Winter Walk Day, which is an opportunity for people to get out and enjoy walking in Alberta's lovely weather today. 140,000 plus people will be walking in different events by schools and organizations all across Alberta.
The walk lasted about 20 minutes, after which participants could enjoy some hot chocolate. If you would like to monitor how often and how long you are walking, you can sign up as a school, individual, or workplace on shapeab.com.
Well, I was not expecting all this snow that we just got. It's pretty crazy.
I know. Thankfully, I live in an apartment building, so I don't have to shovel. But Andra, please tell me we get some relief.
Thanks, Nicole and Dane. I agree. All this snow is not fun to shovel. Luckily, it's moving away from us, and we have milder weather taking over for most of Alberta. Conditions are improving through the weekend. As we see in Calgary, it's going to be a pleasant winter day with the high at 3 degrees. Perfect weekend to be out and about. In Jasper, it'll be mostly cloudy, and temperatures will be hovering right around the 0 mark for most of the day. And if we take a look at Fort McMurray, it seems that they didn't get the memo that temperatures should be improving as the snowstorm is lingering there, keeping temperatures colder. Their temperatures will be holding steady in the mid to minus teens all day. And in Edmonton here, although we have a chilly start to the day at minus 14, we will reach minus 3 for our high, which is right around the average for this time of year for us. Now, averages for this time of year in Edmonton, the low is minus 13 and a high of 4 degrees for the average. At least we're not looking anywhere near the temperatures that hit our records at minus 46 in 1936, yikes. And in 1954, we saw a high of 23 degrees, so that's not too bad. I'm Andra, and thanks for joining me for weather.
NewsWatch Weather sponsored by NR92, the station for the students.
Advocates around the city held events in light of Eating Disorder Awareness Week.
Beginning on February 2nd, organizers did all they could to raise awareness for those struggling. Reed Walker has more.
They experience high anxiety.
A panel of experts were available to answer any questions people may have had about eating disorders. The panel included a psychologist, a teacher, and a woman who suffered from the disorder herself. People were encouraged to write down their questions if they felt uncomfortable.
Tonight, the panel discussion is a great opportunity to hear firsthand the experiences of someone living with it, someone who knows someone living with it. You know, there's a husband on the panel, there's a parent, and someone with lived experience. So really hearing all of the different perspectives and the different journeys.
Although eating disorders have been around for many years, this is the first time the City of Edmonton has hosted an Eating Disorder Awareness Week. On Monday, they lit up the high-level bridge blue to show their support for those with eating disorders.
There's certain ideas of what somebody with an eating disorder looks like, or there's stereotypes attached to them. If I'm a compulsive overeater, then I've got to be lazy. If I'm an anorexic, I'm trying to get attention. If I'm a bulimic, well, that's just disgusting.
30,000 people in Alberta live with an eating disorder, but many cases are undiagnosed due to the stigma attached to the illness.
In order to speak up and say anything, you're automatically going to be feared of being labeled or only ever being seen as that. It's like, oh, that's Leah, the person with the eating disorder, as opposed to, that's Leah, the sociologist, or it begins to define you.
The Edmonton Oil Kings played last place Lethbridge on Tuesday at Rexall Place.
Ben Matichuk joins us with sports now. Ben?
Thanks, guys. And first up, I've got some crashed ice. The city of Leduc hosted a visit from Red Bull last weekend. 220 participants, along with 50 walk-ins, competing for a chance to skate at Red Bull Crashed Ice, took to a course with jumping, diving, and pivoting. Of the 220 skaters, 200 were men battling for 15 qualification spots. The remaining 20 women went head-to-head for 3 spots. Most of the 50 walk-ins were men.
It's different. It's tough to get your nerves. It's a lot harder to make those turns in front of those people when you're really focusing on it and thinking about it.
The tournament is in Helsinki this weekend and visited St. Paul in Minnesota last weekend. Next up is Belfast, Ireland on February 21st before the competition finishes right here in Edmonton on March 14th. The track, which is the longest in this year's tourney, will begin at Edmonton City Centre and run all the way down to River Valley. The Edmonton Oil Kings on Tuesday played host to the Lethbridge Hurricanes. First period, Luke Bertolucci gets around Kay Jensen, but Stuart Skinner denies him with the toes. Selfie game strong. Early second, Jamal Watson finds a wide open Riley Lindgren, and his third makes it 2-0 for the Hurricanes. But we're seeing a little comeback action here by Edmonton. Later on, Edgars Calda gets the rebound off the Ben Carroll shot for his 7th, and the Calda-approved tally cuts the lead in half. Late second, Davis Koch is thinking breakaway, but Andrew Nielsen trips him up. He can't do that. Edmonton power play. On the advantage, Brett Pollock dishes to Brandon Baddock in front, and he ties the game for Edmonton. But in the third, Riley Lindgren grabs a loose puck and wires it past Tristan Jarry for his 2nd and a 2-goal lead. Now, Pollock would add one for Edmonton shorthanded with 90 seconds to play, but that is the final score. Edmonton outshot Lethbridge 52-21. Hurricanes remain last in the league, and Edmonton 5th in the Central Division.
The offense wasn't what concerned me tonight. It was our defense is what concerned me. 4 or 5 times we go off the grid, and that's the end of the game.
The UX men's volleyball team saw a visit from Lakeland last Friday. With both teams looking to bounce back from shutout losses, there's reason to prepare yourself for a nail-biter, but the court was tilted. First set, Sean Renaud looks to set up Justin Knight for the spike, who hits the flawless finish. Nate would take set 1, 25-12. On to set 3, now 2-0 UX. Derek Jansen goes to Nathan Dowell for the spike, but Bryce Cardinal is right there to block for the set and game. With the win, Nate ties Augustana for the lead in the North Division, winning 6 of its last 7. The Rustlers, with the shutout loss, have dropped 4 straight.
We did great on serving. We put a lot of aces into the court, and we kept pushing. We never really let them off the hook. So that was.
High school students gathered on Thursday for the Michael Troy basketball tournament.
We've been excited for a long time. It's going to be really hype. So many people, so many students going to be here.
This is the 32nd time the tournament has been held in honor of Father Michael Troy. The school hosted it on Thursday and Friday and is seeing the final games this evening.
This year we have teams made up from Alberta and Saskatchewan. Last year we've had every kind of second year we'll have a team from Germany.
For my first end zone challenge, I'll admit I kept it simple. I wanted to ease my way in while also trying something I've never really played before. So this week I make my way to the gym for some badminton.
We started with the drive.
The drive is a flat shot that is hit from the middle of the court, and it is used to be offensive. Let's turn it this way so the flattest side is on.
As you can imagine, I was a little rusty to start, even though Nick was nice enough to go easy on me and show me some tips along the way.
You'll just go from here to down.
But I still took my time getting comfortable.
Who was it?
After a while, I found a way to make a rally go for longer than one return. Then he showed me the overhead clear.
And then you bring it out, and then you follow through like this across your body. Yeah.
Okay, and the aim is to kind of get it high.
High and deep. Yeah.
At the end, I asked him to show no mercy, and the captain humbly obliged.
Well, I think I speak for everyone when I say Ben Matichuk is a natural at badminton. Yeah?
Well done, sir. And you didn't hurt yourself.
Didn't hurt myself playing badminton.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Coming up after the break, Nicole and I got the chance to help out at the Edmonton Food Bank.
We now have a better understanding of what the food bank does for people in need.
Our lifeblood is, and our work is being done by volunteers.
I've got something cooking up good for you in entertainment. I sat down with a local contestant on the new season of MasterChef Canada. Your summer forecast for music festivals, and SpongeBob takes to the big screen. All that and more coming up in entertainment.
Outerwear provided by Elite Sports and Innotech Inspection Solutions.
Hair services by Rock Salon and Spa.
The Edmonton Food Bank does its part to help find a solution for hunger.
Now it's time to do ours. There was a lot for us to help with as they're still trying to organize themselves after a generous Christmas season. The warehouse was packed full of food donations. Our job? To sort out some of the 250,000 kilograms worth of food donated over Christmas.
Each month, more than 13,000 people take advantage of the food hampers in Edmonton's food bank, and an additional 350,000 meals and snacks are provided through their affiliated agencies. But none of this is possible without the help of volunteers.
Well, in 2013, we had over 45,000 volunteer hours in that year. And we just pulled the numbers for 2014, and it was over 50,000 volunteer hours. So our lifeblood is, and our work is being done by volunteers.
The food bank is always looking for volunteers, so if you'd like to help them out, call 780-425-2133.
Michaela Henschel got in the kitchen with a stay-at-home mom from MasterChef Canada.
She also has a look at the one-man show playing at the Citadel, coming up in entertainment.
A woman from Leduc is putting her cooking skills to the test. Lauren Scheit is a finalist on the new season of MasterChef Canada. She hopes to win the grand prize of $100,000, but she's already beat up thousands to secure her finalist spot in the top 50. The stay-at-home mom has always had a passion for food.
Think about food 24 hours a day, like when the next time I'm going to get a good meal or cook a meal. So yeah, that's it. Like, I just love food. There's nothing but, well, I love my family more and then food second.
It's Lauren's dedication and love for food that helped her cook out the competition. MasterChef Canada is a show where at-home cooks battle it out in the kitchen in hopes to impress top chefs. Before the show, her toughest critics were her family, who think she's already a winner. You can watch Lauren compete on MasterChef Canada Sundays at 7 on CTV. Now, am I the only one who drools at the sight of the infamous Krabby Patty? The SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water has your burger fix.
Legendary hero.
Will you stop playing that tiny piano?
Sorry. The movie starts off with the evil Plankton who attempts to steal the famous Krabby Patty's secret recipe, but real-life pirate Burger Beard, played by Antonio Banderas, steals it from a magical book. Bikini Bottom is thrown into a chaos when there is no more Krabby Patties. SpongeBob, Patrick, and the whole cast work together, set foot in the real world to save Krabby Patties and their city.
Those guys must work out. I think
the nostalgic cartoon is now playing. The Citadel transformed their stage into a hockey rink for the one-man show, Playing with Fire, the Theo Fleury story.
Oh, here we go!
The play is based on the best-selling autobiography of NHL superstar Theoren Fleury. Fleury had an impressive 16-year NHL career. At only 5'6", he is one of the smallest players to have ever played in the league. His small frame wasn't his only challenge. He was sexually abused by his junior hockey coach, which ultimately led to his alcohol and drug abuse. Theo helped develop the play, and actor Sean Smythe performs the entire show in skates on synthetic ice.
Incredible inspiration, and I know he's inspired tons of people, both as a hockey player and as a human being.
The show is a story of triumph, and he hopes it will encourage victims of sexual abuse to speak up. Playing with Fire, the Theo Fleury story, is playing at the Citadel Theatre until February 15th. The Edmonton Art Council is recognizing outstanding local artists.
Because truthfully, I'm just an artist trying to make it in the entertainment industry. I barely blow things out of proportion.
From filmmakers to dancers, Edmonton artists were awarded with grant money to help fund their passion for diverse arts. The city hopes these grants will encourage artists to stay in the Edmonton community. The council also awarded artists from around the world that enrich Edmonton's cultural scene.
Well, the Arts Council does a phenomenal job of making sure the dollars go to artists who are going to do something new, something creative.
The awards are available to artists at any stage in their career. Now there's only 133 days left until summer, but now is the time to start planning what summer music festival you'll be wearing your floppy hat to. If you want to bask in the glorious Cali sun, Coachella has your name all over it. The 2-weekend festival is taking place from April 10th to 12th and a second weekend to follow on April 17th to 19th. The festival always has the biggest artists, and this year is no exception. Jack White, AC/DC, and Drake are the major headliners. Something a little bit closer to home but just as good is Sasquatch. Located in Washington, the scenery of the gorge will take your breath away. The weekend festival always shakes it up with artists in a big variety. From Kendrick Lamar to Lana Del Rey, the festival has music for everyone's taste. Those tickets go on sale starting today. And if you want to enjoy music in the beautiful capital city, Folkfest is never a disappointment. The lineup is yet to be announced, but start planning your ticket purchase as they go quick. Folkfest is August 6th to 9th this year. Now I'm Michaela Henschel, and that's been your look at the artsy side of life.
Edmontonians may find their commute along 124th Street faster at the cost of parking. The city is talking about removing 19 parking meters along 124th Street and replacing them with a 15-space lot. With the closure of the 102nd Avenue Bridge, traffic has gotten worse, and as a result, so has parking. This problem is not a new one, however, and some local business owners think the change could be beneficial for their clients.
We don't have any parking as it is right now for any clients. There's no parking. Like I said, I don't even have parking here. We've got a lot of clients that kind of are steered away from this location, would rather go to the 118 location because they do have parking.
The parking lot would be in place until the 102nd Avenue Bridge is reopened. The puck dropped on Brent Sake's 5th annual longest hockey game on Friday to challenge the title for the Guinness Book of World Records.
40 hockey players will take to the ice built on Sake's acreage to raise money for the Alberta Cancer Foundation. 2 teams of 20 players will alternate playing in 6-hour shifts for 10 days straight. Since 2003, the game has raised more than $2.1 million.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Good night.